Welcome back to CFR Reactions YouTube. Today, like as promised on the last video, we're going to go ahead and do some modifications to the barbecue pit. I'm going to be resealing the firebox gasket. The idea behind that should maintain smoke and then reduce the escape of heat and everything else coming from that firebox. The last gasket I had in there, due to the excessive heat, actually burned up. So I recommend, checking it and replacing it every 6 months or so if you use it regularly. I use my pit, like I said, almost weekly, so I get a lot of heavy use out of it. And I want to make sure that that the gaskets and everything else is properly sealed and I'm not losing smoke and heat from the firebox. So as we get into more of the prep work right now, what I'm doing is I'm scraping a lot of the soot and some of the rust and the metal off of it, and I'm going to be cleaning up the edges to get ready to adhere the fire gasket. And the one I got today is actually from Oklahoma Joe's, but it's a universal gasket. It fits most brands of pits. It's also easy to cut and trim, and you'll see that as we get further into the modification. So we'll bring you back into the action as soon as we get ready to do that. See you in a second. Alright, so as you can see right now, I'm just finishing up all the prep work and cleaning up of the areas where I'm going to be putting down the gasket. And, I do that all around the lid and the actual firebox itself, just so it has a better area to stick to. And I got cleaned up all the soot, and right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of rubbing alcohol. In this case, I actually just have hand sanitizer. Just so I can get clean up the area a little bit, so when you put down the adhesive gasket, that it sticks to the metal a little bit better. So we just want to clean up the metal a little bit. The idea is just to make sure you get all the leftover debris or some of the old gasket that's stuck to it to get it off there, and just expose the base metal, just so the gasket can stick to it. And that's all I'm doing here. And we'll fast forward through the time lapse on this so that we can actually get to the actual final product where we actually install the gasket. So, alright, so now we're back, and we're going to open up the gasket, and we're going to do some measurements. And I do this pretty much by feel, and to see where I'll need to cut these. Alright, be able to stop it there. And cut it. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is we're actually just going to hand measure it to get the right length and everything. And then what we're going to do is cut it and then get ready to seal it onto the metal. So what we did is we hand measured the strip length that we need to put on the side of the smoker here, and we cut it, and we just got done finished peeling the backing off of it, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to stick it into the actual pit now. Ideally what you want to try to do is get it the snuggest fit you can in the corners, because that's usually where you'll have most of the gaps at for any of the smoke or any of the heat to escape for. And this gasket here, you know, I really do recommend, because it stretches, but at the same time it's that like fiber gasket that you would see kind of around your stoves and stuff on the inside, so you know it's going to hold in the heat and all of that. And ideally what you want to do too is make sure that you get a nice seal, press it down, and then take a nice little look with the lid, see how it looks, see if it sits down right, and it looks like the lid is sitting perfectly onto the gasket, so that looks really good. And what we'll do now is we'll grab this next piece, do the same thing that we just did, and then we'll measure it, and we'll bring you back in when we get ready to have the gasket sealed up around the entire box and show you what the final result looks like. Alright, thanks. Alright YouTube, so we're back. We are now done with this modification. As you can see, we got the gaskets all the way around on the firebox, and this should help eliminate the escape of smoke and escape from heat. You know, that we desperately want to go through the chamber and not out of the box. So the idea is that it should work, and like I said, the last gaskets I had on here worked really well until they just got too hot and burned up, and so this is the replacement of the original gaskets I put on here. As you can see with the lid closed, it sits flush right on top of the gasket. I think this is going to work really, really well. We're going to fire it up shortly and then test the smoke on it, and we'll bring you back into when we fire that up and check for the smoke. Other than that, this modification is actually really inexpensive. I think the gaskets cost $14 at Academy. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, or even by Oklahoma Joes, but their products work really well. And Academy, I usually find all of my barbecue stuff there. They have a really good selection of different things that you can use for grilling and smoking. So check them out if you have one near you, or anywhere that there's a local Academy. So that's that on that, and we'll bring you in when we do the fire test, and then stay tuned for the next modification that we're going to do on the next video. Is we're going to be redoing our fire basket. As you can see, we burned a hole through the center of this one, and this one's seen better days, but this thing lasted pretty much all through spring and summer grilling season, and you know, I think what it is, we just had too high heat concentrated in one center spot instead of dispersing it. And now that we're using full-time wood, it's actually a little bit easier because we're not using as much lump to try to get it started, and the wood that we have is kiln dried, so it fires up really good, and you know, burning clean is the name of the game to get your food to taste good. So, but yeah, check us out on the next video. If you like what we're doing with this video as well, please subscribe to our channel, CFR Reactions. Again, we're going to do anything to do with reacting to different foods, to barbecuing, to funny videos. Just check out the channel and subscribe and hit that bell notifications for our future videos coming up. We appreciate the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.